Please listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting.
Good evening, and welcome to tonight's meeting of the Town of Babylon Zoning Board of Appeals. The following is the procedure that will be followed tonight. The matters will be called in the order they appear on the calendar, with adjourned matters being called at the end of the regularly scheduled matters. Matters cannot be heard prior to their published scheduled time. When your matter is called, please submit the affidavit of posting to the secretary and proceed to the podium and give your name and address. The chairperson will then swear you in and read into the record information we have from your application, comments from various town departments, and any correspondence received on your application. The chairperson will then ask you to make whatever presentation you wish to make to the board. After you have made your presentation, the board will ask whatever questions the board deems appropriate, and then we will ask for comments from the public. If you wish to speak for or against an application, we ask that you wait until you're acknowledged. Come forward, give us your name and address, tell us where your property is in relation to the property that's in question tonight, and then please direct your comments to the board, not the applicant or the applicant's representative. We have to keep a record, and we cannot do that if there are people talking over each other or cross conversations. If someone has spoken for or against an application, and they have said exactly the same thing that you wish to say, it will have the same force and effect in the record if you give your name and address, are sworn in, and say that you join in those comments. If you have anything additional to say, please don't hesitate to do so, but keep in mind that you will be given only one opportunity to speak. After the public has spoken, the board may ask the applicant to come back to answer any questions that may have come up as a result of the public comments, or for the applicant to summarize. When the applicant comes back to answer any additional questions, if that happens, that does not start a second round of public comments. Once the matter has been heard, various things may occur. The board may decide the application immediately. It may reserve decision. If the board reserves decision, that does not mean the matter is approved or denied. It just means that the board needs more time to decide, may want to go out and look at the site again, or might want to review the documents and testimony further before making a decision. In either event, the applicant will receive the board's decision in writing shortly after the board makes its decision. If the application is approved, that does not mean that you can then go ahead and start construction or whatever it is that you requested from the board. You will have to wait for the building permit to be obtained from the building department before your go-ahead. On some occasions, the matter may be continued for another night. If it is continued, in most cases it will be for the submission of documents, a new survey, new plans, or something of that nature. If that's the case, no one needs to come back on the new date. The documents will be submitted and no further testimony will be taken. On rare occasions, a matter may be continued for future testimony. If that's the case, then people would have to come back to testify. If matters are adjourned at an open meeting on the scheduled date of hearing, no further notice need be given unless specifically required by the board on the date the adjournment is granted. 3 rules that may affect your ability to proceed tonight. 1. If the sign was not posted for 10 days, we cannot hold the hearing tonight. 2. If you commence this proceeding while you own the property, but no longer own the property, and you are here now to continue with the application, you will need either the written consent of the new owner or the new owner to be present for the hearing. This situation could come about if you sold your house or building, money was held in escrow at closing for a certificate of occupancy or permit, and you're here tonight to clear that up. Lastly, if your application is a commercial application and it's other than a renewal and there is more than one tenant in the building, then you need your landlord to be here. Is there any applicant that has any difficulty with those situations and would need an adjournment tonight?
Is there anyone who would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. First application is application 24-254 of Constantino Cease, property located in Wheatley Heights. Name and address for the record, please.
Matthew Bush, 2615 Union Boulevard, Islip, New York, architect on behalf of the homeowner.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated January 8th, 2025, environmental control memo dated January 14th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Anastasia Parsatoon dated December 29th, 2023. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Mr. Chairman, there's 14 photographs.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. We're here tonight for 2 variances in connection with legally maintaining an existing 20-foot by 45-foot in-ground pool, paver patio, and roofed-over patio. The first variance is to increase the building area from the permitted 15% to 35.8%, an increase of approximately 399 square feet. The second variance is for an existing accessory shed on the property. We do understand that planning had a few minor comments regarding the application. The first was with regard to drainage on the property. The owner has had no history of drainage issues after the installation of the pool and the patio. There is a dry well located in the rear of the property. All the roof leaders are piped underground, and the pool is drained to there. With regards to the accessory shed, they do intend to remove that from the property completely. So,
So you're going to remove the shed?
yes.
So then I'll amend the application to delete variance number 2, diminished distance to south side lot line from 2 to 0.3.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay, so you'll have to, remove it.
Yep.
Yeah, okay, all right. So you answered the other question I would have had about the drainage on the property, so there's no problems with that. So you're here to finalize the permit for the pool, or just having a permit for the pool?
It was an existing pool, so I believe they had an expediter involved, but I believe we filed to maintain the pool.
The roofed-over patio, is that not, it's not enclosed, just to
Not
remove?
enclosed, no.
Not enclosed. Would you agree to maintain it, being not enclosed?
Yes.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to approve application 24-254 with a condition that the
Shed be removed.
shed be removed and the roof over patio not be enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
As amended. I had that part. Before you-
We're good? Have a good night.
Yeah, good, thanks. Next application is application 24-256 of Robert and Arlene Flats, property located in Deer Park.
Yes.
Name and address for the record.
Christine Fay, Accurate Expediting, 286A Belmont Avenue, West Babylon.
Okay, and you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated January 8th, 2025, environmental control memo dated January 14th, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by William Simmons dated October 16th, 2022. Tax map acting as an area map. And,
Mr. Chairman, there's 4 photographs.
okay, would you like to tell us about the application?
Sure. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. We're here tonight for a variance to maintain a rear yard deck, increasing the building area from 20% to 24.73. We feel that if granting the variance, there would be no adverse impact on the properties in the neighborhood, that there would be no adverse effect on the environment. The benefit cannot be achieved by any other means. Although the difficulty was self-created, by the owners, we feel it's not a substantial request. And if granted, we would agree that the deck not be enclosed. I would like the board to consider approving this application.
Okay, thank you. Turn the hearing over to Mr. Montiglio.
Did you read the planning comments?
Yes,
Okay, like you said, you agree to not to be enclosed, the rear deck?
absolutely.
No more expansions or extensions?
No,
How long was the deck built?
I don't know, actually. It's been there for a long time.
Bought it with the house?
I don't know if it was with the house. One of the decks might have been, but the lower one on grade, that one's probably newer.
Okay. So no more extensions after this?
No, they plan on selling the house.
Nothing more, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Motion to approve application 24-256
Thank you. Have a good night.
with the condition of not being enclosed.
Deck not being closed, okay.
Okay,
favor?
thank you.
Aye. Thank you. Next application is application 24-251 of Happy Days Dispensary, Inc., property located in Farmingdale. Name and address for the record.
Paul Lepore, 105 Route 109, Farmingdale, New York, 11735.
You affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated January 8, 2025, Environmental Control memo dated January 14, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Fire Marshal's report dated January 16, 2025, no violations at this time. Survey by Capitano Engineering and Architecture dated, just the one, 11/20/23, maybe.
I believe so.
And a tax map acting as an area map. Would you like to tell us about the application?
Mr. Chairman, there's 5 photographs.
Sure. So Happy Days Dispensary, the board had graciously granted us approval to open a little over a year ago. Since then, we have been able to raise over $40,000 for the Carol M. Baldwin Breast Cancer Research Fund, work with Long Island Cares to feed families in need across Long Island. And on Christmas Eve, I went to places like Spin the Yard and South Oaks Children's Hospital dressed up like Santa Claus to provide gifts for children who were in need of them. We seek to not only serve our community, but also to give back to our community and to continue these efforts with your approval.
Okay. So is there any changes there, or everything's operating the same? Business is good?
Business is good, everything's going well, and no changes.
Good. All right. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, the Volkswagen.
Yes. There was actually a strategy behind that because we wanted to park it in the first spot. We use it for like events and things like that because it is a vintage
It's not left
1978.
there like overnight or anything? Or
We
permanent?
will move it. We were unaware of that. We apologize, and we'll move it to the back at
I've
night.
seen that someplace else because it seems to me, I seen it, it's a Volkswagen bus.
It is, yes.
But not here. I seen it like, I don't know. I seen it anyway, but no, it has nothing to do with the application, but.
Yeah,
Okay, so you do move it and it's not there
yes,
all the
yeah.
time?
We will make sure that that's done overnight. Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions from the board?
Yeah, Mickey, yeah, you said events. What other events are we holding here?
No events at the location. If there's, for example, we did the Town of Oyster Bay Car Show, things like that. Great South Bay Music Festival.
Oh, when you take the Volkswagen bus
Yes,
there?
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah. And we're not hosting any events at the store or anything like that. It's just business as usual.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. I'll make a motion to, oh, sorry, need Suffolk County Planning on this one, so. That's nothing for you, we have to wait for the Suffolk County Planning memo to come in before we can move the application.
Okay.
All right?
So do I need to come back or just?
No.
Just- I'll get a
It'll come to us,
notification.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay.
Well, all right,
Thank you very much.
thank you.
All right.
Close the hearing and reserve decision, keep the record open for Suffolk County Planning.
All right. Have a good evening, everyone. Thank you.
The hearing. Reserved. Decision.
Yeah, that one she gave me, actually. Okay. Next application is application 24257 of Anne Marie's Kitchen LLC, property located in East Farmingdale.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. My name is Anthony Corr. Anthony E. Corr, PC, 173 School Street, Westbury, New York. I am joined with one of my associates, Rob Costante, an attorney admitted to practice law in the state of New York, as well as our client, Anne Marie Montoni, the Anne Marie's Kitchen, Anne Marie. With regard to this application, this is an application.
Hold on a second. Let me just read stuff into the record before you.
Absolutely.
All right? For the record, we have a Planning Division memo dated January 8, 2025, Environmental Control memo dated January 14, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Survey by Nelson and Pope dated September 2022. Tax map acting as an area map and.
Chairman, there's 5 photographs.
Okay, now.
Thank you.
Sorry.
The technical nature of this special exemption permit is truly a renewal. The reason why it's not characterized as a renewal is because during the time of the original approvals and subsequent renewals, Ms. Montoni's dad died, who was the original owner of the property. Through the estate, the corporation was renamed as part of the settlement of probate, et cetera. So the corporation that owns the real property, although didn't change in the family interest, changed by name designation only. So there wasn't a arm's length transaction of the real property. It remained still vested in the ownership of the family members, just it went to a different corporation name. We're asking the board to renew this special application or to continue its use for the next 5 years. The last renewal was 5 years. In 2013, the board approved the use. It took a substantial amount of time to build this location out with all the permits needed by Suffolk County, the Board of Health, et cetera. So we would like the board to consider a 5-year or greater extension to the operation. A greater I can't get, Mr. Chairman. At least I can ask.
Okay, so my question, everything is the same, everything's being operated the same?
Correct.
Nothing has changed so far as that
Nothing has
goes?
changed. Everything's exactly the same.
Okay. Any other questions from the board? Okay, I'll make a motion to amend the application 24257, all in connection with a portion of an existing building. Second. All in favor? Aye. Now, any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Okay. We do not have a fire marshal or Suffolk County planning memo. Fire marshal, you need to call the fire marshal and get him there and get us a memo.
Yes.
Suffolk County Planning will come to us, so we can't move the application until we get those things, but it's housekeeping.
When you get those two items, then you'll render a
And then
decision.
we'll render a decision.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. Good luck.
Thank you. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
We're going to close and reserve the decision and leave the record open for the fire marshal and Suffolk County Planning. Last one. Next application is application 24258 of Kid Strongs / Hubbard's Commons of LLC, property located in West Babylon.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Can I just, can I hand these up?
I saw the sign up.
She told me that right before we left, that she submitted it, Lenore. I can find out. Do you want me to take a second, or? Okay. I will get the answer. So good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Anthony Guardino, law firm of Farrell Fritz, representing the applicant, Kid Strong, and its franchisee, James Bowl. They operate a children's gym and development center, I should say, at 713 Sunrise Highway in West Babylon, and that is all pursuant to an approval that was granted by this board back in October 19th, to be exact, of 2023, and that was for a duration of 1 year, which expired in October of 2024. The applicant is now seeking to renew that special permit so that it can continue to operate its business at this location. I think you're probably familiar with the site just down the road here to the east, 1.83 acres. It's next to Hubbard's Commons, just to the west of Hubbard's Commons. It's improved with a small shopping center that was recently constructed, meaning like in the last 5 years. There are 4 tenant spaces in that shopping center. There's the Kids Strong, there's a Metro Physical Therapy, a Popeyes restaurant, and a Moe's Southwest restaurant. As I mentioned, Kids Strong received its approval in October of 2023 to operate at this location and thereafter open the facility. It's in about 3,000 square feet of this inline of space within the inline center. It has been operating at this location without incident since it opened. And since the time of its initial approval, there have not been any interior alterations made, and there have not been any changes to the site, nor have there been any changes to Kidstrong's business model since the time of the approval. The planning staff memo, which I did read, actually indicates that Kidstrong appears to be operating in accordance with the approved site plan. I will point out, though, that that memo does mention several non-permitted flag banners and signs on the Popeyes, which is at the western end of the center. My client, unfortunately, can't control Popeyes, but I also represent the landlord. And I brought those unpermitted signs to the landlord's attention earlier today, and I was assured by the landlord's rep that they will contact Popeyes and have those signs removed immediately. And then in light of what I consider this, and I consider this to be a very benign type of use, and with the favorable report by the planning staff that everything has been, all the conditions have been complied with of the prior approval, I am respectfully requesting that the board consider maybe a 5-year renewal of this use, or somewhere between 1 and 5. It just seems like a blink. I'll be honest with you, my client called me for the renewal, and I said, you don't need a renewal. I just got this approved. And I mean, 1 year goes like that.
The year goes quick.
It sure does. And they go quicker.
Yeah. Okay, just a little housekeeping.
Sure.
Since I didn't read this stuff into the record. I have a planning division memo dated January 8, 2025. Environmental control memo dated January 14, 2025. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Fire marshal's report dated January 16, 2025 has a valid permit. A survey by James Weed dated 10/14, I don't know, 24? What do you think? 14? Okay. Didn't think that was right. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Chairman, is 10 photographs in the site plan by Joseph A. Deal dated September 12, 2022.
okay, now I'll turn the hearing over to Mr. Shepherd.
How are you?
Hi, how are you?
Good.
Good.
So it's being run just as you said, everything's the same, everything's good? All right.
Everything is the
I
same.
went by there this afternoon, and since you do represent the landlord, the Kids Strong has 2 flags out on the sidewalk. There's a barber shop that has 2 flags out on the street. Moe's Kitchen has 2 flags. Popeyes has 8 of them up, 2 of them down on the ground, and there's 24 permanent big balloons out there. Yeah, I have pictures if you'd like to see them. It
No,
looks
I
like
believe
this-
you. Is that at the Popeyes, the balloons?
Yeah,
Okay,
it looks like the circus came to town,
okay.
you know. So
I hear you.
We'll get, as you said, you'll get rid of all of these?
Yes, I wasn't aware of the other ones. I only mentioned the Popeyes because it was in the report, but I'm sure my landlord, my client, the landlord, will
Barber
take care
shop
of all of this.
is east of him.
Oh,
and
so
out-
that's in a different
There's
shopping
only
center.
one on his property.
Okay.
But Moe's and Kids Strong has one at the corner of Hubbard's and Sunrise Service Road.
I'll make sure they get removed.
Thank you.
Thank you for bringing that to my
Mr.
attention.
Chairman, I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Now what do we need? Suffolk County Planning. We still need Suffolk County Planning on this one. I guess they didn't do Suffolk County Planning this week.
Oh, so we have to wait, okay. And I'll get the affidavit of
And you'll get
posting.
the affidavit? Yeah.
Just I can call right now and find out if the board wants an answer. You can email it to me. Okay. She
saw the
told me
side-
right before I left. She's, don't worry, it's in. I went, okay. So, great.
Okay. Close the hearing, reserve decision, keep the record open for Suffolk County Planning.
Hey, hey. how
You're
are you?
welcome.
Okay, terrific. Thank you so much.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board.
We're on a roll, man. You didn't even give me a chance.